right, welcome everyone. I am super excited to be here today to introduce you live to one of our most recent graduates of our Certified Career Coach program. So, everyone, welcome Tina Wheat and congrats to you.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for doing this.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's been fun to work with you, and I can't wait for everyone to get to know you and hear your journey of becoming a career coach, and especially to hear your background too, because it is so unique and all the experiences that you have brought as a career coach now. So let's start out. Just tell me a little bit more about you. Tell me about your background, who you work with, the industry that you're in, and a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So by training in general, I'm a family physician. And so I have been a practicing family physician and I do lots of things in that. I take care of babies, I take care of adults, I've delivered lots of babies. And so within that, I have been in the healthcare field, obviously, for the majority of my career and seen lots of burnout all around me and burnout myself. And so that's really what got me started in thinking about how do I help people figure out how to find the career that makes the most sense for them? And is there a way to do that in such that they could stay in that field that they train for most of their lives and that they've really moved towards? And so it really started when I was feeling frustrated in my role and I was feeling like I wasn't doing a good enough job at home, at work. I teach, and I wasn't necessarily feeling like I was doing a good enough job teaching my residents also. And so I really wanted to figure out how could I help myself and how could I help other people really just succeed and in all of their spaces. And the interesting thing is, a lot of the coaches that are out there were telling people that they should just leave medicine. And so I really wanted to do this in a different way. I wanted to help people not just think that medicine wasn't the answer anymore. I wanted them to really think about what is their purpose? What is it that they're really called to do? Because I think for lots of us, it really is a calling, many of the things that we do, and help them find those passion projects. And sometimes with your career, there's small adjustments that can be made that have a huge impact, or there's just finding a different role that will still allow you to do the things that you love and you feel like the environment is so much better. And so this pathway was really to help me support others in identifying that right career, identifying that right position, and still be able to do the things that they love.
Love that. And I love that you are using your experience too and like your story and your journey that you went through and you wanted to like give back and help others in your niche, in your industry as well too. So you kind of were using, your story too to help others. So I love that. What were some of like the problems that you were facing when it came to, first of all, juggling, your job and the side business as well too, but like what were some of the problems as far as like turning your idea into a business?
I think that it's hard to know when you're ready. I think that many of us experience the feeling like we're not good enough. There's the imposter syndrome. There's the feeling like, oh, I just need this one more certification to help me get there. And while that's not necessarily it, I think having a network of folks to be able to talk about how is this working for you? How has this played out has been really beneficial. And I think just sort of letting people know that there is help out there. One of the hardest things I think in my group is many healthcare workers don't want to ask for help. We've been trained not to. And so really trying to share with others that we're out there. So I'm just trying to share the word that I'm available for people so they know that it's okay to ask for help and that there is another answer besides just leaving healthcare altogether.
Yes, so many people need you. So, how did you first come across Classy Career Girl in our certification program?
Gosh, I don't even know. I think that it was one of the master classes. I think I watched something about sort of setting yourself up as a business. I knew it was something I wanted to do. I was already doing occasional speaking engagements. I was randomly being asked to do them, and I thought I could be more proactive about that. And so I think I came across one that was sort of planning how to do those steps. And I am definitely by nature a planner. I really like
Mhm.
having a roadmap to get things done. And I watched one of the master classes and was able to decide that this would be a good fit for me. We've talked a lot about how we have sort of similar natures, and
Yeah.
so that's helpful too. It's nice to be able to work with someone that gets you and sort of gets what your blocks are, and so that was really helpful.
Yeah, I could tell like once you had the checklist, once you had a plan, you were off and running. And I'm the same way too. It's like if I know where I'm going, if I know the things I need to do, well, I can do
Exactly.
that. But the hard part is when we just are like, what do I do? And we sit there for
Right.
months, right?
Yes, I
So
don't
what
like
did,
spinning my wheels. So,
yes. So what did you think about the success path? Kind of the program, the certification once you joined? What were some of the things you were thinking when you joined?
I think that it really just laid out a process and a sense of making sure that I wasn't going to miss things. I think there's always the fear when you're starting your own business, like, am I going to miss a step and is that really going to impact my family? And so I felt comfortable knowing that I was going through all of the important steps, all of the legal steps to make sure that I could help people in a way that was reasonable. And particularly in my niche, being very cognizant about that because in healthcare in specific, they might be able to have their employer pay for it or other things. So making sure that I was really set up in a positive way. So I thought
Love
that
that.
was really helpful. And then even being able to use the structure of some of the workbooks and how to make sure that clients felt totally supported throughout was really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Because you were off and running. I feel like you had those first clients. You were great. Well, I'll let you tell. I'll let you tell. I don't want to steal your thunder. What was that first step? I know when we worked together in the beginning, what you took off and did, but tell everyone kind of those first steps that you took, like right when you joined.
Yeah, so before I joined, I had actually already done life and wellness, but I didn't feel like that was enough. And so I was fortunate to have a little bit of understanding of structure. And so adding the career piece I thought was really important because I think that they all go together. You can't have a great career and feel miserable at home. And when you are feeling great at home but miserable at work, that doesn't work either. So I really wanted them to all be together. And so I was already doing some coaching before I got started, but really having a pathway to move forward. So I started with doing my first workshop shortly after I started, and that was called Burnout to Balance. And it was a way to help people think about what is just the challenge right now, and can I have an action plan for getting out of this, including not just personal things, but in asking for differences at work, being able to advocate for themselves at work. And so that was the first thing I did. And shortly after, I was able to start working with a few clients as well. And the responses that I have received from them, sometimes I would sit there and feel like I wasn't necessarily helping them. But then just the continued conversations really were able to make breakthroughs and able to allow them to think about things in a different way. One of the beauties of coaching is it's not necessarily giving you advice or teaching new things all the time, but helping you realize that you have all of the tools to do that and to allow you to grow. And watching those aha moments with my clients was absolutely wonderful. It was my favorite part.
I love that. I love that part, like working with your clients, seeing the results that they get as well too as a coach. And yeah, like you said, you were off and running, got that workshop up and got your sales page up and all the things. And that was so awesome to see your record timing getting that done as well too. And then because you took so much action, you're this is where we're like you're the action taker, hard worker, because you started, even though you may like, did you ever feel like this isn't perfect. Like it should be better. Like, did you ever have any fear, like the imposter syndrome in the beginning there?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely a person that comes in all of the time. And so that's the thing that I am really working on trying to not let that hold me back. But absolutely, right now I'm thinking about, do I redo that first workshop? And I'm really thinking about how can I do that differently? And thinking about some of the changes to the sales page to help people hear me a little bit differently and
Mm,
changing how I'm presenting some of the information. I still think overall um, the main components are there, and I'm really excited about that. But I think that I will always be someone that tweaks a little bit more and moves to that next great thing based on the feedback that I get.
Yeah, because you learn from doing and taking action. So because you had the first workshop, now we can improve it, we can make changes, but you never would have know what changes to make if you didn't, get it done the first time as well too. So congrats to you for taking action and moving forward and doing it even though it was a little uncomfortable too. What do you think, where do you think you'd be if you hadn't joined the program?
I I think I would still just be spinning my wheels. Like I said, I was someone that really needed a pathway forward and how to take the next steps. And I felt like the program really gave me accountability. I had in my brain that I really wanted to make things by the certain checklist and was able to follow the path of the schedule of the classes and wanted to meet all of those deadlines. And even just starting with the how do we plan out a budget for this? What are the goals? I think just even doing those first sessions was super important for me and moving forward. I'm not sure I would have known how to start those goals, having never owned a business before. And so that was it definitely gave me the impetus to be able to move forward without just sort of questioning at every stage.
hmm And when did you do the training in your weekly schedule? Because I know you're very busy with your day job and then your family as well too. Like what was your secret for like finding time to go through the training and the modules?
Well, I actually, so I still have my day job, and so I'm doing this in. That's why part of why I'm so busy, in addition to my amazing family that is always busy. But when I signed up for this, I actually had just left a job and was starting going to a new job. And so one of the beauties of the program is that it's self-directed for a lot of it, with the opportunity to do the in-person questions. And so I went through a lot of the modules when I had that time off. I'm not somebody that can really sit there and do nothing. And so I did a fair bit then. But then there's always those things that need to keep happening. And so I would block time on my calendar. Calendars are something that I really lean into to help myself stay organized and to stay happy in general. And so I would block time on my calendar in the evenings usually, or while I was waiting for my girls to get out of dance. And I would do little chunks of time so that I didn't feel overwhelmed, but could get a fair amount done.
So
So it was
smart.
like an hour here and then made a big difference.
hmm And like you said, you had the plan, you know what actions to take. So you weren't, if you have
Mhm.
that hour, you're not spinning your wheels. You're like getting right down to the business and making it happen. So
Correct.
tell us like what changes have happened in your life, over the last 6 months. Like where are you now? How are you feeling?
I would say the first thing was at the very beginning, I was a little bit angsty because I felt like I wasn't making things happen as quickly as I wanted to. We would have conversations where I was like, I don't know, I haven't done enough. I didn't have haven't done enough, but would always get the reassurance that I really had. And then I had this experience where I went to a conference, and people that I had no idea were paying attention to my social media page came up to me and were like, those things that you're saying are really helpful. Those things that you're saying are really speaking to people. I've been sharing that with other people. And they hadn't necessarily commented on my social media. I didn't know that they were seeing it, but one of the things that I really loved about this program was thinking about the motto of trying to help one person every day. And it just sort of like warmed my heart that I felt like, oh, I'm reaching people. I'm reaching more people than I thought. And so even on those days where I feel like I'm not getting enough done, I feel wonderful knowing that I'm able to support other people out there, whether they're directly working with me or not. That's really why I came into this, is to be able to make I'm going to say the world a better place, but to be able to make our system a better place. And so I am just happy that I'm able to provide that support.
Awesome. I love that they told you because they weren't commenting, but there are people watching and just focusing on that one person a day. And there's those people watching and you don't even know until they come
Right.
up to you later and they're like, I need a call with you. And they'll get to that point where, they keep watching, they keep watching, they keep watching, and all of a sudden they're like, I need to book a call with Tina, and it's gonna happen. So tell me more about the clients that you've worked with. I know you just wrapped up did you wrap up a 90-day program with a client too?
I did just wrap up a 90-day program, and this was someone that I started talking with right around the time that I joined the program, or shortly after I joined the program. And they were they were feeling like they were floating in life, and weren't sure that the decisions that they were making were because they had just sort of arrived there versus they were being intentional about making it there. And so we really just started there. We started talking about what were the things that they love, and sort of along the lines of love your career. What are the reasons why you're doing what you're doing? Are you caring for the people that you want to care for? Are the job activities that you're doing the ones that you want to be doing? And so we spent a lot of time there and were ultimately able to decide that they really were where they wanted to be. And so that was great. And so then we were able to shift a bit to, and how do we make you happier in those spaces? Because one of the things that I think happens in healthcare is a lot of people use the word burnout and maybe don't identify with it or just sort of use it as I'm super frustrated with work. And so I'm going to use this term. But we're able to identify the spaces that could be improved at work, could be improved at home to make all of it happier. And so we were really able to identify where can you delegate or what do you actually need as a system in advance to delegate and really think through some of those pieces where prior to our conversations, they had shared that they didn't even know where to begin. And so really identifying, going back to the like, what are those next action steps that can happen? What are those, what is that roadmap that can be used to make this job a better place? And while I was working with that person, we also were at a joint meeting and others came up to me and said, wow, you were really making a difference for them. We see a change. And I was shocked. And I didn't respond because I didn't necessarily want to talk about their
Mhm.
experience with me. But it was amazing to know that not only were they feeling it, but others were noticing it too.
I love that. And I love that you were taking action like as you were getting certified too and actually working with clients and going through the 90-day program with them too. So you learned so much just from working with clients too. And like tell me a little bit more about like your practice sessions as well too. Like how did that help you when you kind of were working through those?
Yeah, I think some of the practice sessions were really important for me, um, initially because I wasn't sure what strategies would work, which strategies would feel right for me. I am a very serious person, and so sometimes the way other people respond is different for me. And so sometimes I would be on the Zoom call, sort of unsure if they were liking what I was saying or if they were feeling resistant to what I was saying. And the best thing about the practice sessions were the aha moments later when I thought that I wasn't getting through. And then they came back and were like, yeah, I thought about that last time. And I see where you're what you were trying to ask me to do. And I thought about that. And now we need to go down this other path. And it was just sort of those aha moments where I thought I wasn't doing a great job, but it turned out that it really was making an impact. And so it really helped for me to see that in action, and feel confident in being able to offer this to other people.
Yeah, I could really tell when I got to watch your practice sessions too, like how just authentic you were and like how much more confident you were than when you started as well too. So it really does show all the work that you've put in. So what's next for your coaching business over the next year? What are you excited for next?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be able to help other people. I have reached out to actually some employee assistance programs are starting to offer coaching in the healthcare space. And so starting to get associated with them so that I am available when healthcare workers might need me. Also hoping to launch a group coaching program in the near future so that I can help more people at the same time. And I'm just really looking forward to whatever additional opportunities come in. One of the things that I also found as I was speaking this year was that I focus on healthcare because that's where I am, but I also think that many of us who are high achieving have the same challenges. And so, although that is who I'm marketing to, I'm also hoping to be able to support other high achieving people thinking like I spoke at a workshop recently and a lawyer came up to me and she was like, all of those things were exactly what I needed to hear today. And so just knowing that many of these strategies are able to support people in different fields also.
Awesome. I 100% agree because I know like when you talk to, I'm like, I relate to you so much as well too. So I think there is so much overlap you could do in other industries. That's exciting too. And that's usually what happens when you go through the program too, is you see how many more people you can help or how many different specializations you can offer people as well too. So that's exciting to see. So what would your final words of wisdom be to someone who is thinking of making the leap to career coaching? What would you tell them?
I think that I think that it's very I think that it's scary to take leaps, and I think that it's easy to hold yourself back. But some of the greatest things in life happen when we are really willing to trust ourselves, and not just leap, but take a big jump and just try. And thinking about all of the things that you might be scared of, those are reasonable to consider. And what are all of the things that might not happen if you don't take that leap? And so remembering those other pieces as well is really important. And knowing that there's communities of support and everybody would like to support you.
Definitely. So where can people find you online? I know you are on Instagram.
I am. I'm on Instagram at Dr. DrTinawheat, so at Dr. Tina Wheat. I'm also on LinkedIn with my full name, which is Santina Wheat, though I go by Tina. And I have a website, which is www.santinawheat.com.
Definitely. Yes. Go check Tina out. And then you can also find her on our directory page as well, too. So if you didn't get all that, just go to classycareergirl.com/directory and you can find her on and our other coaches as well on our directory page. And then if you are interested in becoming a certified career coach at Classy Career Girl, you can check out our free startup kit at www.classycareergirl.com/career coach webinar. Thank you so much, Tina, for joining me today. I know you have a busy, busy day, so thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining me here today. And I can't wait to watch you launch your group coaching program and all of the next fun things that are coming for your business. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me today.